Working on a weekend like usual. Way off in the deep end like usual. Niggas swear they passed us, they doing too much. Haven't done my taxes.
Welcome to From the 7 podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. As always, I'm your boy Deuce. Always here with my right-hand man, Stat. And it's origin story time today. We're going to get a little bit into my upbringing, my early childhood life, how I became who I am today, and just really what shaped me. But before we get into all that, quick announcements.
Yep, guys. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe to Stat TV YouTube. That's where all the podcast episodes will be posted. You can also follow From the 7 Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me at StatZay, Deuce at _Deuce West. You can get Stat merch at the link in my bio. We got From the 7 merch on the way. And make sure you guys are tuning in every single Tuesday. We're dropping a new episode at 7 p.m. But yeah, man, it's a special episode, yo. We getting into the origin story. This is one of those conversations that me and you have when the cameras are off. And I know you said there's some things that you're going to bring up that I haven't heard from your upbringing that I'm excited to hear, but I'm also just excited for the viewers to be able to experience that with you, because I know there's a lot of gems that come out of that, and a lot of the reason why we're here today is going to come out in that upbringing. So let's go ahead and get right into it, bro. So what was it like for young Deuce growing up, man, and how did basketball kind of shape your life at a young age? Come on, man, the shades, bro.
Hey, man, listen, I got the shades on today. I feel like Breakfast Club, man. Kanye on Drink Champs.
Hey,
I'm name dropping. Might as well put a little name ticker up there because I'm name dropping. But no, man, my childhood was very unique. I had a superhero for a mom. My mom and dad got divorced at a young age. Well, when I was at a young age. So she played both roles, man. And I still to this day don't know how she did it. She played both roles as well as anybody can play one role. So growing up was kind of easy for me a little bit. I wasn't like the typical, child in school who didn't have their dad in the house, being outlandish in class. And, people can say, well, his dad isn't there. So, kind of give him the benefit of the doubt. I had no problems with that. I just kind of like kept it inside. I didn't really show the world that it affected me the way it affected me because of the people I had around me growing up as well. But being a single parent was hard, It was me and my sister, and shout out to my sister. I don't give her enough credit. She helped shape me who I am today because she put the ball in my hand. I wanted to be just like her growing up. Anything she did, I wanted to do. So my mom kept us in sports. She kept us active. So I didn't really find a need or a want to play basketball until I saw my sister doing it. And it was very cool because I was not good. I actually scored 4 points my first year playing basketball all season, and it was in one game. It was in the playoffs.
What age was that?
Shoot, bro, I was probably 8 or 9, playing for Fallen Creek against your team, Beulah. I don't think you was on the squad, but it was against Beulah, man. And I just remember after the game, how happy my boy Andre, man, shout out Andre, man, shout out Dre. How happy he was for me. And I at first it was just like I'm playing just because my sister playing it, but now it's like, yo, like this, bro, because come on now. Imagine all year I don't score.
Yeah.
Like, what are you even getting hyped for the game for? Like, I'm so nervous. I'm missing layups.
About when you going to make your first bucket.
Man, for real, I'm scared to even get in the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let alone, now they passing me the ball. So I remember how happy he was for me, and then it kind of clicked like that. Like, this feels good, like even though I wasn't good, I decided to take that extra dive into looking into basketball to see if it was something I wanted to do. I remember, I think it was like 97, 98. I was, down at my aunt's house because that's another part of how I grew up was, being a single parent, my mom still had to work, so luckily my aunt helped raise me and that was on my dad's side. So we still was able to see my dad a lot. Like, it wasn't like he wasn't around at all. We still was able to see him a lot. And, the area we was in, shout out Oak Grove. I went to Oak Grove for kindergarten, man. And it was you know, how George was talking about being a kid from the city. It's tough.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't go past that stop sign. You can only go up the block. Like, if you go up the block and make a right, like, you might see somebody selling drugs. You could see somebody getting shot. Like, so that part wasn't easy, but I was able to find a love in basketball off of this one day, man. I remember being down there sitting in the kitchen watching TV, and you know how it was back in the day. It was only a few teams playing. And there was this basketball player that caught my eye, man, and it just happened to be Kobe Bryant. I just remember his love and his passion spilled out of the TV onto me. Like, he was young at the time. He made a lot of mistakes.
He had that energy.
He had that energy, yep. And I was like, you know what? I want to be like him. So I took basketball serious. Well, I tried to take basketball serious going forward. And my mom, again, she kept us busy. So I played football and I also played baseball. So, of course, you know, it's hard because you're playing all those sports. You really don't have time to hone in on one thing.
Yeah. And
Like,
at that age, just development, I mean, even at that time, I don't think development was pushed as much as it is right now. And so, like, even hearing George's story, like, he really was fortunate to have his brother, who was a phenom, have access to other guys who came before him that set the tone for him. And it's just crazy when we look back on our lives. It's like, you know, what you don't know can hurt you. And playing all those sports is fun. You young, you getting it, you with your boys, and it doesn't even cross your mind development because you're just out there. And like you said, you had the 4 points. Like, I know that feeling, like,
yep.
Going through a season and, like, you're nervous because you like, man, am I going to score today? Because you don't even know how to score, but you just know you've seen it go through the hoop one time. So you're like, my chance going to come at some point.
Absolutely, man. So I remember, you know, basketball season, after I scored the 4 points, it was over, and I played football, and I was bad at that too. And, you know, being from Virginia, we don't have a team. Like, we don't have any professional sports. So one day, again, I'm watching TV, and, you know, I find a liking to a quarterback named Michael Vick. And Michael Vick was from Virginia, so it was, like, perfect for me. He was playing for the Atlanta Falcons at the time. And Michael Vick got me in trouble a lot, though, I ain't gonna lie, because I played quarterback, so watching him holding the ball with one hand, trying to reverse
He was like
field.
the Steph Curry and Kyrie of our time.
Oh, my gosh.
Coaches hated that everybody tried to emulate Mike Vick.
Hated it, man. Hated it. So I found a liking to Michael Vick, man, and the following year when I played football, Coach Butler, shout out Coach Butler, man. That's Tiana Butler's dad.
Okay.
You know Tiana.
Yep.
I don't know if Tiana's watching, but shout out Tiana. And, you know, he kind of wrapped his arm around me and was like, yo, you can do this. You can be good at this. And it was one of those things, like, Little League, you're not throwing the ball as a quarterback like that. You might throw a screen or two, but it's a lot of quarterback sweeps, and it's a lot of just handing the ball off. But when he said that, I kind of was like, yo, for real? Like, let me take this seriously a little bit. And then I had great coaches around me, Coach Bunch, shout out Coach Bunch. That was Bryson's dad. Shout out Bryson, man. That was my best friend growing up. They took a liking to, you know, to me as far as being a football player. So now I got two sports that I'm focused on getting better at. Baseball, I always was like,
So real quick, at that time, was it clear that basketball was the one, or were you still kind of unsure?
Not yet. I wasn't sure. And I'm going to tell you a funny story about how it got short of me. So baseball, I still was like, I'm not really that good. I'm shortstop, so let me do my research. Again, at that time, you're not seeing a lot of teams play professionally on TV. Found out the Yankees, Derek Jeter, found a liking to him. So now I got three guys I'm following. And everybody, I'm trying to, you know, match their energy and learn after them. So it was different how, you know, how George had talked about seeing people live. I'm watching people through a lens, literally on TV.
Yeah. It's crazy, too, real quick, the correlation that, like, and I can't speak for everybody, but I know for me and you, like, when you look at those indicators, that's like, man, it was things that was always there that I never realized. Like, everybody that you looked up to in every sport that you played, they changed the game with the way that they played the sport. And I think that speaks volume to who you were, even though you didn't really know at that time. Like, it's not a coincidence that Kobe stood out to you so much. We watch basketball all the time. You see so many players, and you know players, but it's always like that one that sticks out. And I think it tells a lot about who you were at a young age that was just already there. The fact that Kobe was the guy you looked up to in basketball, Vic was the guy you looked up to in football, and Derek Jeter in baseball. Those are all guys that will never be forgotten in any of those. They changed the game.
Yeah.
You know, and it's even crazier because Mike Vick is from Virginia. So us being from Virginia, that meant so much more, especially if you had your coaches telling you can do it. Like that realization there is like you attach yourself to that.
Yep. So the following year, I remember, again, I only started playing basketball because I wanted to be just like my sister. So I wore number 21. I did everything she did. Whatever number she wore, I wore. But the following year was a little different because now I got some people that I'm trying to, kind of be like.
Yeah.
Trying to kind of be my own man. And I remember wearing number 8 because I wanted to be Kobe. And the first Little League game following the year, I scored 4 points. I scored 16 points in the first game. Now, granted, a lot of it was cherry picking. I ain't gonna lie, probably like 10 buckets was all butt naked layups. But I was now confident enough to take those, make those. So I said, you know what, Dad, like this is something that I can really do. Football came around again. I'm better, right? But now football comes around. These guys are bigger. Right, these guys are bigger, and my offensive line, Fallen Creek. If you play for Fallen Creek, in the time I played, the offensive line was trash. I had one good offensive lineman. Shout out Keenan, man, Keenan Bunch. That was Bryson's brother.
Okay,
Keenan when I say I'm doing a quarterback sweep, I'm following him. Like that's when I realized I'm gonna find my best offensive lineman and hold on to his jersey because I know he gonna clear everybody out the way. Yeah. So that's how I got through those holes because I followed Keenan. And Keenan was like, "I got you, follow me." Everybody else was like, "Man, they get pushed off the line and everything." But anyway, shout out Keenan, man. But so our line was trash, so I got hit a lot. And this was something that no one ever knew. Why I decided to go ahead and switch away from football is because I got hit a lot, and I was always at the bottom of a dog pile. Literally, bro, I snapped the ball, and 4 of the defensive linemen already tackling me.
You think about getting injured?
Not even that, bro. It's just that's when of course, the word I didn't know, but I had really bad anxiety, bro. Being under the dog pile because nobody got up fast enough. Yeah, nobody got. I was claustrophobic.
You had the only way you was getting out was if everybody else understood what was happening.
And they didn't. And on the defensive end, they definitely didn't want to get up quick. That was I got the quarterback. We good.
Yeah, they pushing your head.
And they
down
bigger
in the
boy.
grass.
Exactly. They bigger boys. So I was like, I just can't do it because I had many panic attacks sometimes. Yeah. Especially being in there for so long. But so Little League goes on. Coach Miller, shout out Coach Miller. That's Sheldon's dad. We're gonna get into Sheldon a little bit later.
Shout out to Sheldon, man.
But Coach Miller was my basketball coach. And it was a big help because he lived in the neighborhood, so he'd take us to practice. Sometimes he'll stop and give me something to eat. So he was a big help for my mom because if my mom wasn't working, she had to be asleep. She had to rest up. So Coach Miller was the perfect coach I needed to say, all right, I'm sticking to basketball, number one, and I'm going to try to be very, very good at it, right? So, again, playing Little League is always different. You don't really know how you match up, really. So the first time I knew I needed to get better was Fallen Creek. All right, so Fallen Creek comes. We're in middle school. And for some reason, I don't try out my 6th grade year. I think I didn't get the physical or something. It was something crazy like that. I didn't get something.
That was one of those things back then.
Need that physical.
Really was missing the physical, and that was the reason why they won't play.
Needed that physical.
Yeah.
But didn't get the physical, man. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to just go back, play Little League again, try to get my reps up, try to get better. 7th grade comes around. So you know what? I'm gonna try out. Make sure I need my physical. I need all that on time. Trying out. I'm gonna make it. Let's do it, bro. I got the ball, bro. Them lights came on in Fallen Creek Middle School gym. I forgot how to play basketball. So I know I didn't do well, but I'm still keeping my hopes up, and I end up not making the team. And a lot of my friends was on the team. Shout out Drew, man. Drew's my best friend.
Shout out Drew.
My brother to this day, man. But Drew's a phenom. So, all the classes we had when it was time, when it's time to go on them road games, bro, all the people I was talking to in class is now gone. So I was like, damn, it's just whack. So the following year, 8th grade comes around. I'm thinking yo, this is my time for real, because the politics of Fallen Creek.
Yep.
And I think you know it better than I do. So what they did, pick one?
Yeah, so it was 6th grade, you get one 6th grader. We all knew it was going to be Drew. 7th grade, I think they picked 2, and then everybody else is 8th graders. And then not only that, like at that time, like the district, like whatever your home school was, like the middle school and the high school was so important because you knew that was your only way to try to get to that next step. Like making the team meant you were on your way to try to at least go to college, whatever it is you thought you was going to do. And so, you know, Meadowbrook was our home high school, and at that time they were really good. Like, I mean, they weren't winning state championships, but they were in the conversation. They were at the Times Dispatch every year. They had good players that came before us, and then Fallen Creek was like Meadowbrook Junior. So it's like, I mean, you had guys like Tyrese Rice, DJ, guys like Rico. I mean, there were so many guys that came through that not everybody went to Meadowbrook, but like just even coming through Fallen Creek, like it meant that much, and the politics of it made it that much more important because you knew. I mean, even for us, we came up in a time where like how DJ and Tyrese Rice probably were when they were there. That's how Drew was for us. Like we knew coming out of 5th grade, like, okay, when Drew gets to Fallen Creek, he's got that 1 6th grade spot.
Yep. And there was one name you forgot to mention, man, but shout out TJ Stinson.
Shout out TJ, man.
Phenom, man. I think that was the first dude besides Kobe that, you know, I saw TJ when I was in 6th grade. He was in 8th grade, and they played that faculty game that they always play at the end of the year.
He's the definition of a hooper, for
man,
sure.
And he killed them. And I remember going home that day. Again, I was in 6th grade, and I was outside, and you know, like, I'm Kobe. Hey.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm TJ. And I was the first other guy besides a guy that was professional that I said I wanted to be like. And TJ's going to come back in the story as well because I got a chance to play with him later on in my career. But so 8th grade comes around, man, and I don't make the team. So I'm like, dang, man. I remember being very down on myself. And as a kid, you don't know how to express that stuff. Like, again, coming from where we come from, like, you just deal with it. Like, you don't know who to talk to. You don't know where to go.
You don't want to show weakness.
You don't want to show weakness. And I remember saying, damn, man, I'm done. Done with basketball. Like, I'm not going to play. And I was like, nah, you know what? Kobe wouldn't do this. TJ wouldn't do this. I was like, I'm playing, right? But now we still in that 8th grade year. So what can I do? What do I learn from last year? I said, dang, all my friends gonna leave when that away game comes. So I asked Coach Scott. Shout out Coach Scott, by the way. I asked Coach Scott, can I help with the team? And I became a manager. It was me and Nina. Shout out Nina. I don't know if Nina's watching, but it was me and Nina, man. And I thought that was a cool experience just seeing y'all firsthand. Like, you know, because when you don't make the team in middle school, like, you still run down and look through that window for 10 to 15 minutes and watch y'all practice. But now I'm in the gym. Yeah. So that was cool. So, and I remember the first away game, it was time for y'all to go. And I stood up, and the teacher was like, where are you going? And I'm like, going with them. He's like, you're not a part of the team. I'm like, I'm the manager. He's like, of course they think I'm lying, you know, because really back in the day, I could have lied and got out and just went, just, you know, how we were, just trying to not be in class, just be in the hallway. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Run away from the principal and stuff. Yeah. And the kids don't understand that these days, but that was cool. Like,
it really was, man.
But I said, man, go get Coach Scott. So Coach Scott came in there and was like, yep, he a part of it. I was like, oh my God. That felt like I was part of the team right there. So I'm comfortable still, like, without making the team, and it felt weird looking back on it now, but I'm comfortable just because I'm around my friends. So there was one day I really had to look in the mirror and ask myself, like, yo, do you really want to do this, or you know what I'm saying, like. So that was my one, you know, moment that I had that first heart to heart with myself, but it really didn't click until that one day in the lunchroom, bro. And you know this story. Yeah. We sitting at the lunch table. You know how the lunch table was, you know, a long lunch table, but your group, it was probably 5 on this side, 5 on this side, like. Yep. And I remember Trey, man, shout out Trey. Trey looked down at the end because I was like kind of close to the end. He was like, "Hey, yo, Harry," you know how Trey was funny. Yep. "Hey, yo, Harry, yo," so you know how
he did a little smile and shit.
Man, we talking, bro. We talking from all the way down. So, I'm like, "Yo," you like, "Are you gonna be our manager next year for Meadowbrook?" Everybody kind of start laughing and stuff. And I was like, that was that first time where it wasn't like you know how like you see in TV shows and stuff, being bullied. And in the TV show, they get up with the tray. Oh my God, they run away.
The music change.
Yeah, music change. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Kid go in the bathroom and trying to hurt himself and shit.
Yeah.
But I was like, so everybody laughing. I'm like, bet. So I remember that summer, Bryson and his brother, Dante, shout out Dante, man. Both of them would go see their dad in California. Their dad had went to California. He was seeing somebody out there. And Keenan was out there as well. So they went out there for like a month. And they invited me. And you know, back in the day, bro, like East Coast to West Coast, you ain't doing that.
With nobody, even just being able to leave Richmond like at that age, because if it weren't with your parents, you didn't really expect it to be another situation that was gonna happen like that.
Oh yeah, especially for a month.
Yeah.
You know, and some change. So they invited me. We ended up asking my mom, and she said yes. So went out to California, San Bernardino, man. Excuse me. San Bernardino, California was where we were. And anybody who knows San Bernardino knows a lot of land and desert. So, you know, being a kid, we'll go outside and there was a basketball park, but if you took the long way, it'd take you about an hour walking.
So wait, real quick, because you talked about the situation with your journey through middle school, how important that was to you. The situation with Trey kind of lighting that fire for you. When you got the opportunity to go to California, like what was your mindset going into that? Like, were you thinking about that, or what? Like, what was the situation?
So at first, I'm not even gonna lie to you. When Trey said that to me, it definitely lit a fire. But I'm going to Cali as a kid, 12, 13. I'm thinking about like, yo, all right, we can't do nothing, but I'm just going to see a new scenery. Yeah, I know Kobe Bryant's there. I'm just living this childhood fan. Oh, I'm gonna see Kobe, like. Right. And San Bernardino not even close.
4 hours away.
Yeah, bro. Like, Kobe ain't seeing me. But I was just like, yo, I'm going to see Kobe. Like, let's do it. And it wasn't until I was there until I realized that there was a basketball court and there was an hour away if you walked the long way, or it was a desert you could cut through. It'd take you about 15, 20 minutes. The desert, it's a little crazy, bro. Like, I ain't going to lie. It's like a real deal desert. They got tumbleweed and stuff. Like, you look through it and you like, yo, like I don't think I want to cross there. Like coyote might come, take your head off, anything. So I remember wanting to go to the park a lot, and Bryson and them would go with me sometimes, and then sometimes I go with myself. And Del Taco was a restaurant that literally had 50-cent tacos.
Shout out Del Taco. I lived in Vegas for a little bit. Del Taco was where it's at, man.
It's probably trash for real, but as a kid, that joint did the deal. And it was like 50-cent tacos, so I always was good as far as eating. But I remember going to the park, man, and they just wouldn't let me play, of course. Like, I'm a kid. Similar to, imagine Iron Bridge, but on crack. Yeah. Okay, just imagine Rockwood. Yep. Imagine Rockwood, and you a kid. They're not letting you play. Like, don't even think about it. So I would shoot on the side court with the other kids. I would do things like that, and one time there was a guy that wasn't that good. I remember his name was Charles. He had his crew and they weren't that good, and he just picked me. Like, so now I'm on a team with grown men, but they're not good.
Were you nervous going into that?
I was, but I was happy to just be on the court. Like, I was just like, I'm here now.
Right.
And I remember the first couple possessions, you know, the team we playing was pretty good. Smoking us. Like, I'm like, yo, this about to be quick. It's like how we was at AmFam. People will wait 2 hours and then get on. And
you realize you that team that's just in the way.
That's just in the way, in the way. So I remember it being like 4-0 or something, and Charles came up to me like, yo, we need you. Like, what? So, yo, we need you. So I'm like, yo. And that right there just kind of tapped into like a superpower, bro. Like, we end up coming back, winning the game. I hit probably like 6 points out of 11. Like, it was one of those things where once I started scoring, those dudes start turning into superstars. Like, it kind of made them feel good. It was
bringing the best out of everybody.
Bringing the best out of them. And then that day, everybody took notice of that. And then the next couple of times I would go to the park, I would get picked. Not first, maybe not even the first 2 games, but somebody would be like, yo, we got a little man. So that happened.
I'm guessing that helped your confidence at that point.
Oh, man. That was Charles. Shout out Charles, man. Hopefully, again, he's still alive. I don't even know how to contact him. He was just a random guy. Yeah. And that day, Charles gave me the confidence, bro, that I was lacking all those other years, you know? Like,
bro, it's crazy because You know, we just had George on the show talking about how, again, you know, his upbringing. I mean, he kind of built that confidence at an early age just by the people he was around. And, you know, even for me, when I was doing training, one of the early things I picked up on was like confidence was key at a young age for kids. You know, even if they're not making anything, if they just had the confidence to dribble and shoot, that you could look on the court and that could separate them, man. It's just crazy how, you know, the way that we grew up, it was normal that like we never really had anything to kind of point to that gave us confidence. It was like we were always looking for it, you know? And like you said, you never want to look weak, so you don't talk about it, but subconsciously you go into every basketball situation thinking about, am I going to show up today and our guys they going to fuck with me, or are they going to like be like, man, we ain't really rocking with bruh, and you don't know how it's going to go. And that feeling in itself is just so crazy, and it's just for you to get to the point now where you're going into high school and the first person that actually saw that in you and gave you that confidence, he didn't really like give you anything. He just saw something and just spoke it to you, and it did so much for you. And I think that was so huge to understand at that age, because again, when you look at somebody like George, where he was getting that at the age of 7 or 8, like imagine if we had that same thing. You know, not saying you didn't have people that didn't support you or show you that love, but it's like, for me, you gotta take that extra step, because when you're dealing with young people, the younger you are, I feel like the more you think you know everything. And a lot of people, they kind of write kids off because of that, because you're at an age where you're older and you understand things differently, and it's hard to put yourself in their shoes. And so, you know, a part of what we're doing that's great is like we're taking that extra step to say, nah, man, like I'm gonna go through that. You might be mad at me today, but I understand it's gonna help you, you know. And not saying that that's what Charles did, because I know it was a different situation, but it all to me is connected, because it's like, yo, somebody like Harry, where people saw things in you, like, yo, take that extra time to invest in them and build them up with words and actions and all of those things, man. So it's just crazy, man, that it took until your summer going into high school for you to hear that. But I know how important that was for you.
Yeah, man.
It was through your journey.
It was the pivotal point of my young career at that point. Like, coming back to the East Coast now, we got like a month left before Meadowbrook starts. And I'm a guy that just literally did not play middle school basketball. I'm playing rec, and I'm coming in really as a no-name. You know, I got a little bit of respect from my peers because, you know, whatever, they knew I could play, but coaching staff don't know me at all. You know, so walking into Meadowbrook, being 13, you know, because I going to the private school, Oak Grove, for kindergarten, and then going to public school, I was able to have a head start, right? So I'm still younger. I'm the youngest out of the class. Like, I'm really supposed to be in 8th grade, but I'm in 9th because my birthday is at the end of the year. So I'm 13 years old. I come into Meadowbrook, and this is when I made that switch. We had workouts, preseason workouts, open gym. I remember coming in with the T-Mac jersey, man. And shout out Linworth.
With the stars, bro. The blue joint with the stars, the white letters. I'm a huge T-Mac fan, and that was one of them jerseys. I remember seeing you wear that, and I was just like, dang, I ain't got one of those. I want one of them.
Yep. Shout out my brother Linworth, man.
Shout out Linworth, man.
He was a big T-Mac fan. I was a big Kobe fan, and we would have T-Mac Kobe battles in the backyard, literally three feet wide pavement. We can't even go nowhere, and we really taking it seriously. And the reason I wore the T-Mac jersey is because I used to study Kobe, and that was the one dude I was like, yo, like, this dude the same. Like,
before the injuries, T-Mac and Kobe was on the same
trajectory. That was the
trajectory.
only dude I was always afraid when Kobe played against, because he did the same moves, and he was 6'7".
Yep.
So T-Mac growing up was my second favorite player, man. So I remember getting that T-Mac jersey maybe like the Christmas before or whatever. So I came in and, I shocked everybody. I remember after one open gym, Brown and Gordon was standing by the door, and they called me over and asked me what middle school I went to. And I told them Fallen Creek, and I was like, well, we don't remember seeing, because they used to come scout, especially come, take a look at Drew. And when they asked me that, I was like, yeah, I was a student. Like, I didn't play. Like, you're not going to remember me because you didn't see me.
Yep.
I was, oh, okay. And I remember they just kind of like brushed it off a little bit. So in my head, I'm playing well. my peers were like, yo, you doing very good. Like, it was like, okay, cool.
The guys who were on the team already were putting you on their team, and they made sure you played with them, and they kind of like took you under their wing. And I just remember everybody who was still unsure about making the team, we knew Harry had a spot. Like,
yo, you want to know who really gave me the confidence? That year that I was on the team before I made it? I just gave it away about making the team. But Tim Saunders, man.
Yo, he a real one, man.
Yo, Tim was
Shout
like that
Tim.
veteran. Like, Tim was a vet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because we talk about vet, but he was on JV. But he was a vet. Like,
For sure.
It was cool to hear that from him.
He was always cool, man.
Yeah, man. But anyway, so preseason goes by, Judgment Day. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids growing up now, I don't know if it's like this, maybe in public school still, but not really because there's so much politics in the game of basketball now. But the list came out and they posted it on the door, and it was downstairs by the gym. Everybody who remember Meadowbrook, you had to go down the steps, gym on the left, doors on the right.
All the way at the end.
That joint was right there, bro. Yeah. So I remember that morning was very emotional, but / like relief. I remember waking up like nervous. I would fix myself a little bowl of cereal, and it's funny because everybody who know me know I used to eat cereal with chocolate milk.
That's crazy.
But I couldn't even eat my cereal with my chocolate milk that morning, bro. My stomach was such in a ball. So I remember getting to school and everybody took off from the bus. Like, everybody ran because everybody wanted to know who made the team and if they was on the team. People was running that didn't even try out. They just wanted to see who was on the team. Yep. It was that big of a deal.
For sure.
And I remember walking, everybody running down the steps. And I could see people's emotions when they're leaving the list, like, oh, man, I didn't make it. But I didn't hear any names. I just saw, like, different people reacting to it. And it was like a movie, bro. Everybody cleared out. It was like a clear out for me. And I looked at the list, man, and I saw my name, right? And it was like, for that moment, I couldn't move. The world stopped for me. All the times walking through that desert, sand hitting my face, like,
it was worth it at that point.
It was worth it, man. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, after I found my name, the world stopped, and I looked for Trey's name. Trey's name wasn't on there. And that just felt good, too.
Yeah.
Even though we were friends and everything.
It's competition.
It was like that felt good because now when I see him, I'm going to ask him, is he going to be a manager?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It came back full circle. But shout out Trey, by the way, man.
Yeah,
good
shout
dude.
out Trey, man.
But so yeah, 9th grade comes, I make the team. Now I'm like, whoa, what is going on now? Like, what? Okay, this is real deal. Then you already know what happened. First day of practice, we in practice, man. We got the gold, we got the blue jerseys on, we got the reversible joints, and your name.
But hold on, before you even say that, bro.
Hold on. I know what you're about to say. Before I let you say something, I wanted to say this last part.
All right.
Your names, when you came in the locker room, it was gold and blue.
Yeah.
First time we walked in, we don't know what's going on. We just like, oh shoot, I'm going to get.
We hype.
Yo, let's go. Kobo, why Kobo on that team? Kobo Rockhead ass.
Right. Because we was thinking like, I like gold better, or like I like blue better anyway.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, man, F y'all. Shout out Kobo, man.
Yeah, shout out Kobo, bro.
Even though I'm gonna whip his ass when I see him, but shout out him, man. And yeah, man. So we go through practice, first day, got the first day jitter out.
Feeling good.
Everybody circle up, man. Coach Oliver called everybody in the middle. All right, listen. That's how we doing it. If you on gold, that means you ain't playing. Hey, bro, when I say everybody was like
he didn't even have to say that.
Bro, he had to say that, bro. He didn't have to say that.
And the way else. Coach O was, because he was a white dude. He was a great coach, but he knew the environment he was in, and him having to deliver that news, you could tell he was still growing as a coach, and it was just one of those moments of like, damn.
You want to know who coach? Shout out Coach O, man.
Shout out Coach O.
Coach O was one of those coaches that I wish I had more time with.
For sure.
But he was like John Gruden of basketball.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was very traditional.
His
when
grit,
it came to basketball.
everything.
Yeah.
So when he said, he had that little smirk on his face almost. And I remember looking down, gold, and then he said, if you on blue, you in a rotation. So everybody now looking back up slowly, but now looking at everybody else.
Yeah.
Kobo Rockhead ass on blue.
Smiling like a
now he like, yeah, F y'all. So I'm like, damn, okay.
Because not only that, Kobo just came off of I mean,
Football.
this is our freshman year, and he's starting quarterback.
Yep. And it's so crazy. Remember his nickname was Tallahassee?
Yeah,
Nobody
bro.
ever knew it. He's from California. Like, he came from California, but people call him Tallahassee.
Man, Kobo and Drew, they could do what they want at that time.
At the time, yeah.
That was Drake and Future at that time.
And Future. But, so, yeah, man, we look up, like, damn, man, like, now me and you go from dapping each other up in the locker room, like, yo, we about to kick y'all ass, to be like, it ain't nothing we can do to play.
Yep. And we know already.
We
first
know
day.
that. So 9th grade year goes by, and of course we're not in the rotation, bro. We just it is what it is. We don't play, but I still was like, yo, this is a step up from me even being the manager. Now I'm in the gym. I'm in the drills.
Yeah.
And that happens, bro. And real quick, a big pivotal game that I remember, one of the only games I remember that year, we went to Highland Springs and we beat Zay. Shout out Zay, man. Zay gonna be on here.
Yeah, shout out Zay.
In a little bit. And I remember Highland Springs, it was tough. JV and varsity. Like, you ain't going to Highland Springs and winning for real. And we went to Highland Springs, but I remember smoking that layup, fast break. I don't know if you remember Smoke. Shout out Smoke.
Yo,
He was
Smoke, man.
Smoke was fast, bro.
Yeah.
He could never get under control with the ball. So he'll get to the rim quick and then it'll go off the backboard.
That dude was I mean, y'all probably would compare it to like Avery Bradley, but we would say like a Eric Snow type dude. Like, he was just in the game for defense.
He was Tony Allen, man.
Tony Allen.
He was Tony Allen.
He was the Tony Allen of the team. Like, it was a point where coach was like, you know, when your coach take you out for a position, like when it was defense, we dead ball, Smoke, get in.
Smoke,
as soon as we back on offense, Smoke, come out.
Yep.
Like, he was that guy, but he really embraced that role too, though.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But when he had that one where it's like, you got to shoot it, it was like, oh, here we go.
Yep.
He smoked it.
So that happens, man. 9th grade year goes by. It's like a blur. And the summertime comes. And excuse me.
Wait, no, because 9th grade, real quick. I mean, it was a point where things changed like halfway through the season.
Nah, bro, not really for me. I remember Kobo getting moved up. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and then you started coming off the bench a little more. I mean, you weren't like
little bit
crazy with the minutes, but
yeah.
I just remember even me seeing that, like, dang, Harry getting in now, because we going back to like, dang, we on the gold team. We're not even expecting to get in.
Yep.
That was still a time where it was normal to say your freshman year, you're just going to sit the bench. Like, you knew that. And so for you to come off the bench after that, it was just like, and then to see, like you said, Kobo get moved up, like, that was just one of those moments, man. I just remember those.
That's a great point, because I remember a vivid moment. I had a Rob Digipix. Remember Rob Digipix?
Yo, Rob Digi.
Yo, so look, man, I'm telling y'all, man.
Shout out Rob.
Yo,
man.
It is so unfortunate, man, that the kids coming up now, man, they don't even understand that, like, yo, after the game, to wait 5 days to see if Rob Digipix was even going to post a picture
just
of
to
you.
even think if he coming to your game that week.
Man, nowadays, bro, everybody like, bro,
there.
2 seconds after the game, you got a whole mix. Now, though, it's like the dudes are stop playing. The game will be over. They'll post a mix of them from that game 20 minutes later. How? Yeah, anyways, Rob Digipix, man. Shout out Rob Digipix.
Shout out Rob, man.
But he had a picture of me at LC Bird and Sterling, RIP, man.
Rest in peace to Sterling.
And that was a dude, man, that changed me too, to end up, you know, liking number 2 and embracing that more, because I wore number 2 in Little League eventually, but when I saw Sterl wore it, like, he was
one of those guys that, like, I mean, how you look at the guys now who are like taller that can play.
Oh man,
up top, like he was one of those first guys. Like, he was a shooter.
He was the best trail 4 I ever played with ever.
Yeah.
But I remember, man, Rob Digipix, we was in LC Bird in the back of my jersey. I wore number 4, man. Shout out Tyrese Rice.
Yes, sir.
Because when Kobo took number 2, our freshman year, I just remember Rice is nice, bro. Like, I remember seeing that dude for LC Bird playing against Meadowbrook. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. But I was wearing number 4, and it was a crazy pick because you can see me and you can see Sterling. And it was tough because I wish I could see that picture now, bro, because that was one of the few pictures that I had with Sterling when he was alive, bro. But that was a cool moment for me. So you're right. At the end of the year, I was in the rotation a little bit, but I was still scared. So I don't even count 9th grade. But anyways, so 9th grade summer comes, and this is when my coming out party happens, and we was at University of Richmond. This is when Justin Harper, shout out Jay Harp.
Life, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out Jay Harp. He had committed to Richmond, so we went to Richmond's team camp, and we only had 6 players.
Yeah, we had 6 guys, and it was crazy because going into that, like you talk about Kobo moving up, Devin moved up.
Yep.
There were so many guys. Like, the goal at that point was try to get moved up because you also saw other guys doing it. And it just so happened that year they kind of took the main guys that would have been in the
On
main
that-
guys
oh
in
my
10th
God,
grade.
yeah,
They
yep,
took those guys,
yep.
and who was left was us.
Yep,
And
we-
Trey was actually with us as well. So we going into it, our 6. Everybody's kind of looking at it like, all right, we got 6 guys. We're gonna see what happened. But us, we were like, yo, this our time. I'm glad we only got 6.
Yep.
I went from, I mean, especially you talking about your journey. I wasn't getting in the game at all either. So I'm like, yo, I'm cool with that.
Yep. And it was crazy because if you think about it, we didn't have any freshmen because freshmen weren't
there yet.
Yeah.
That's why we had 6.
Yep.
Those
And,
2 things.
I remember shout out Corey Green. I know Corey Green
Corey's
probably
my
watching,
guy,
man. But
man.
Corey was on that team too. So we had a good solid 6. It wasn't like we was like, but the coaching staff really didn't believe in us because we weren't playing that much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you really look at it, it was only me, you, Corey, and Rooney from the team, the previous team.
Yep.
You know, Josh
finally was there because the only reason Josh didn't make it.
Josh and Trey weren't on the team though, is what I'm saying.
But Josh was a little different than Trey. Like Trey was like his grades was bad. It's like something happened. Josh just remember his knee got bruised.
Oh yeah.
So it was kind of like we knew he should have been involved, but
he just
it
wasn't.
just didn't work out. And so yeah, that was our 6 though.
Yep. So we ran the table, man. We were hot. We were the hottest JV team in the camp, bro. And I remember people were talking about us because our varsity team, no offense, they weren't good. Like they weren't good at all. That summer league team,
And they were playing some good teams too. I mean,
they were.
Tucker that was there when they
Lower
had
Marion was there.
Lower Marion was there.
Shout out Lower Marion, dog.
Crazy story when we were there. We walking in the Weinstein Center. You know they got like the multiple courts. We walking down the sideline and we see this little white dude. He got a Lower Marion shirt. You love Kobe. We all like, yo, you see the dude with the Lower Marion shirt?
Mm-hmm.
So oblivious to anything. We literally asked him like, yo, you play for Lower Marion? And he literally turned around and is like, no, these guys do. They got the team there, the whole team. And they had that guy who ended up going to Temple, number one. And I just remember we was so in awe watching him play. So, yeah, I mean, our varsity wasn't good, but they had some good competition that they played against for sure.
Yep. So we that was when my confidence was at an all-time high because not only did we have 6 guys, but y'all believed in me. Like, y'all was like, yo, Harry, we need you to go.
Oh, yeah.
And that push and then seeing Coach O, the way that he, you know, because, again, he picked me the previous year, but now it's like, yo, I need you now. So what are you going to do? And I stepped up. So that was cool for me, and we ended up losing to Chantilly, I remember. And we
it was my fault. I'm going to keep it 1,000. It was my fault. I tricked it at the end.
Nah, man, it wasn't your fault. But I remember getting hurt before that game. So it was always, that game was always a weird game. But we were undefeated, and we were playing lights out, and then we just kind of got full of ourselves, and we ended up losing. But so that happens, and then summer league happens, and me and Jaquan, shout out my brother Jaquan.
Shout out Jaquan, man.
He was coming off, he broke his leg, but we killed it, man. We ended up beating Highland Springs in the championship. So now we got Gordon, we got Brown, we got all these coaches that's coming to our games, and we're doing very, very well. And I just remember being in the weight room, man, and Coach Gordon called me over to the side, and he was like, "You want to play varsity?" And that split second, I felt like the world was like giving me everything I ever dreamed of, and I was blinded by the fact of that was probably the worst decision of my life at that time.
Yeah, and we was battling with that. All of us that just came off of the team camp, we rallied together. We kind of like we weren't really expected to do what we did, and we did it together, and we kind of like that made us stronger. And then again, everybody's goal was like we weren't mad at you because we all would have wanted to have that to happen, like move up to varsity because it's like, okay, I'm making that next step. But at that time, the way that the timing of it, man, it was just like, yo, Harry gonna leave us. And I mean, the varsity guys was just at that time were the same guys that when you came in 9th grade, they're now on varsity. They was rocking with you then. So the influence was so heavy there, but you also was rocking with us, man. And I just remember all of us just feeling like, man, we gonna lose Harry. And I just remember that was a huge thing for all of us. That was huge, man.
That was huge for all of us. Looking back on it, it was definitely a pivotal point in my life. So I said yes, of course. I didn't even think about it, you know, and that's why you shouldn't make decisions right off the rash emotion, because you need to sit back and think about it. I didn't weigh out anything. Yes, let's do it. Not even
self-awareness is key, man.
Not even looking at their roster or anything. So I ended up playing varsity my 10th grade year. I don't play again, so I don't get in. I'm not in the rotation heavily. And I remember doing pretty good in practice, and one day we played Highland Springs. I keep saying Highland Springs, man, but they're a powerhouse school. And it was a Saturday, and I'm going into the game not expecting to play at all. I'm cool with that. Yeah. I'm just with these older guys, and it was cool. You know how it was our first year on JV, bro. Like, we were good. Varsity wasn't. Yep. We had to sit in the front of the bus. They sat in the back.
Yep.
If they did win and we won, they bombing us the whole time. So now I'm a part of those guys. So yeah. I feel good just being around them.
Yep.
So anyways, we go out for warm-ups, and Gordon's doing his thing, and then we come back in. Now he has the starters on the board, and my name's up there. And I remember having this same emotion, like scratching my head, like, hold on, is that a typo? Yeah. But he wrote it, so it wasn't no typo. And everybody looking around like, oh, these whispers. And he was like, Harry, you're going to get your start, man. Let's go. You got Harry Lee Daniel. For those of y'all don't know who Harry Lee Daniel is, man, this dude played football. He played basketball, but he was a football player.
Yeah.
He was very good in basketball. Very good.
That's it, right?
That's all you need to know. And I'm a $140, $130 probably.
Yeah.
And he solid 205, 6'2", 6'3". Dude, diesel. So I'm like, yo, it's over for me. So imagine going back out, because we got like 4 minutes left. I'm shaking the whole time.
Yeah.
I can't get my nerves settled for shit. I remember the band playing that I forgot the dude who sung this, but put you to bed. Yeah. Bed, that song. The band is playing that. So I'm like, yo, and everything just kind of went in slow motion. And I just remember that ball just being thrown up, bro. And again, for those of y'all who never went to public school, man, a Saturday game at Highland Springs, cheerleaders rocking.
Shut the city
Shut the city down. Old heads talking shit.
Yep.
You feel everything in the gym. Every cheerleader stomp, you feel that. So
grandma's in there turned.
I'm getting the ball, I'm throwing it right back to whoever just gave it to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
And my defense is trash too, because I'm playing against an all-state guy at that point. So long story short, I don't do well at all. And I remember Coach Gordon and them. Again, I'm young, so they're like, you good? You good? I'm not good.
Yeah.
So they gave me one more chance at home against Matoka. And for some reason, bro, I had a crazy migraine, bro. This is the first time I ever had a crazy migraine, or a migraine in general. And I remember just seeing like 3 or 4 baskets, bro. Like, you know how Brian said, I just saw 3 or 4, I just shot the middle one. Yeah. Nah, this one was the Chuck E. Cheese joint where it just
kept moving.
Man, I shot 5 air balls, bro, in the first quarter, I think. First quarter or first half. And that was it for me. So
real quick though, bro, because listening to the journey, man, we talk a lot about self-awareness, and I think everybody can relate at a young age. Like, no one's really that self-aware just because of the dynamic of peer pressure and all the other stuff. But like, starting from, Trey saying what he said in middle school, and then now all these things are kind of like these highs and lows. Where did that change your love for the game at that point?
It changed the confidence level I had.
Yeah.
I would say I loved it the same, but now I'm not sure. Like, damn, was that a fluke? Like how I played in summer league, summer camp? Can I really, really take this the distance? Like, one thing I could say that I was conflicted of is, like, being in our generation, in our era, was like, I mean, even the guys now, they go through the same things for certain things, but it was having a girl, like having literally a girlfriend while you trying to grind and do that stuff. So I always had a girlfriend. So not only am I not playing, but now I'm not even trying to get better.
Yeah.
Like, so every time I step foot on the court, I don't have confidence. The next time I step foot on the court, I still don't have confidence because I didn't do anything in between.
Yeah. And that's why I asked, bro, because, a big part of what we're doing here, like I said, we talk a lot about self-awareness, and, for the young guys watching this that might be playing sports or can relate to this from their own journey, it's like, basketball was just our vehicle, but when you take away like that, like when you're not self-aware about who you are, and at a young age, a lot of your self-awareness is really going to be tied to who you have around you, right? And because, again, you're dealing with peer pressure, you're dealing with the pressure of having girlfriends and all of the stuff that in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter, but in that moment, every day going to school, that determines who you are in that school and kind of the hierarchy of like what's going on. And so, it's definitely different now, but I think the common thread is you always going to have those distractions, man. And the quicker that you can understand who you are and who you're supposed to be, you start to make different decisions, you know?
Yep.
And again, when we talked about when George was here about like, it doesn't matter what the wall is, it's just, hey, push yourself to it. That really comes down to self-awareness, because
Absolutely.
let's change it up a little bit and say you had somebody that was there for you. They might not have been telling you what you wanted to hear, but they told you the right things. You now can go into situations and say, I want to hang out with my girl, but I know for a fact this is not helping me get where I need to go. It's still up to me to make the right decision or the wrong decision, but I at least know. And we never really had that gauge, because we were just going off of what we saw. We thought we made the team, we're good. We're going to eventually just get where we're going to go. And that everybody's goal was to get to the league, or at least get to a D1 school, because it was really about like what it really looked like to everybody else. And am I going to be able to also fulfill that dream of being like Kobe or being like everyone else, and not really understanding, like, if you were self-aware about, hey, basketball can really work out, let me do these things. Or maybe basketball is fun, let me just understand it's just fun for me, let me put my focus somewhere else. And that never really, no matter how that goes, that doesn't include the things we cared about, like women or hanging out all the time, playing video games, all that. And so it's just when I hear, those parts of the story, man, it's just like, it was so many opportunities that self-awareness kind of showed itself, and we never really understood or was able to see it, because we didn't even understand it.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right, because of the fact that, you really think about it, man, we shouldn't have had any of us shouldn't have had no girls. Like,
we heard it from the older people, but it didn't go further than just, hey, don't worry about women.
Bro, I remember vividly I called my brother, one of my girlfriends broke up with me. I was in 10th grade, and I was crying. That was the first time I was like, oh, broke up with me, I'm crying. Yeah. And he's like, what? He laughed. And I remember, like, what the hell? I didn't know who to call. I just called my big bro. He's much older than me, so like, I'm like, okay, he gonna give me the. Like, man, number one, you got a girlfriend. That's funny. Like, yeah, like you thinking you like that's funny, and then number two, you crying over it. And of course, at the time I didn't understand, but when you really dive deep into it now, man, it's a bad deal, man, because you're expected to, make man decisions as a boy. Like you're a kid, and you got a less than 2% chance that this girl is gonna go the distance.
And
so
a less than 2% chance you're gonna get your dream of making it to the league.
And again, but piggybacking off of that, not even that, bro. It's you're so much, bro. If you really think about it, how much time did I spend with my girlfriends? Right?
Yeah.
How much time did I actually work out and really want to? I'm not getting that time back, and then that girl don't even she not with me today. Yep. So now once you break up with that girl, that time is over. You just sacrifice you getting better, you on your purpose for somebody that's not even meant for you to even go the distance.
Yep.
So that happens, man, and that made me realize as I got older, all those old heads, I was like, what? Talk about girlfriend? No, they serious. Like, get to where you trying to get to, reevaluate when you get there, because at the end of the day, bro, it's a bad deal.
And it's a bad deal because the last thing that I want to touch on with this is, like, as men, like you said, we were expected as boys to make man decisions, and what we realize that as now is this: I don't care how you put it, I don't care how you say it. As a man, your value is your value in this world is attached to what you can do and what you can create and what you can provide to the world. Period. It doesn't go no other way.
Yep.
And so, what you're saying, if we really understood that, it would make sense. Like, girls don't matter. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's not helping you create anything. I'm not saying women are evil people, but in the grand scheme of what it takes for a man to be something in this world and to be taken serious and respected, that doesn't include that. You know what I'm saying? Especially at that age. And so, everything you're saying, man, it makes a lot of sense. And I think I wish we would have understood that at that time,
For sure. So 10th grade year concludes, and now I have to look back and reevaluate what I'm doing. Like, there's 2 years I haven't really been playing to my potential. I had some ups and downs. Like you said, I was in the rotation at the end of the year, 9th grade. I had some okay games on varsity my 10th grade year, but the grand scheme of things, bro, I haven't really played that level of basketball yet. I just haven't. Like,
just from a rep standpoint,
I don't have reps. I don't have enough reps
to be at that level and be expected to, like, do what you needed to do.
Yep. So and funny, man. In my household, again, shout out my mom, man. I love her, bro. I love my mom to death.
Your mom's a real one.
I'll jump off this cliff for my mom. But in my household, a D means you ain't doing a damn thing. If you got a D on your report card, you ain't doing a damn thing. A F mean you done fucked up. and I had so many of those on my report card, bro, after my 10th grade year. And seeing the disappointment on her face, you know, it hurt me. And I remember that summer, you know, we had a couple of AAU teams and stuff that we played for. My first major AAU team, actually, Bryson told me to go try out, was Capital City Bulldogs. After that, I got a chance to play with U-Turn. Shout out RJ, Seth, Coach Price. That was RJ's dad.
Okay.
We had a good team. My cousin TJ was on there. Everybody was on there, and it was cool because that helped me know that I still could play basketball, but it just wasn't translating to my school ball.
Yeah.
So I remember playing with the Squires one summer, man. Shout out James Ford, Michael Benajay. They were at a school called Evangel Christian at the time.
Shout out Benajay, man.
Yeah, man. You gotta get and James, man. All them dudes, RJ, Seth, all them dudes, man.
Shout out RJ too.
But it was talks of like, hey, man, we want you to come play with us. And it was a private school. You had to pay to go there. Well, unless you was on basketball scholarship, but I don't have enough cred to get a full scholarship too. Like, so it was a good decision for me and my mom because of the fact that something needed to change, bro. Like I wasn't playing and I'm not doing good in school. So my mom took on another job to help pay for my school, bro. So once I saw how hard my mom was working for me, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna let her down. Like I'm gonna get my grades up. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna focus. And Evangel Christian was a small school, bro. We had 33 people in there. You know what I'm saying? Like very small school. I think it was like 9 females in the high school class. So it wasn't many to choose from. And you know, they were all good girls, but they weren't the most attractive. So it was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna focus on basketball. Shout out
blessing
Keon
in disguise, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out Keon, man. Keon became one of my best friends on the team, Keon Brown, man. And we ended up having a whole new roster when I got there because Benajay went to Benedictine. James went to Christ Church. I think both of them went to Christ Church first, and then Benajay went to Benedictine afterwards. But they recruited me, but then they left. They didn't stay. And CJ Procyse was on the team before that too. He's great. He's having a great NFL career. He actually got a Super Bowl ring with the Bucks. So he was gone too because he went to a school to play football. So we got a whole new roster, bro. But the AD had scheduled our season based off last year's performance. So we got Montrose on there. We got the high school team, Oak Hills, but we got some good teams, bro.
Yeah.
And I remember playing Montrose, man, and Terrence Ross was on that team.
Damn.
Terrence Ross was on that squad, bro, and that was the most at the time that was the best player I ever played against, but he was the most humble dude, man. Like he was disrespectful, thinking about it now, but he was so humble about it. He was like, yo, I'm about to do a 1 dribble pull up. I'm about to let you know right now. I'm going to love. And he did it. Boom. Good D. Pat you on the butt. Good D.
Yeah.
I remember after a timeout one time, he's like, yo, you might want to watch out. I'm like, he's telling me, bro.
Yeah.
I get backpicked. Next thing you know, he hanging off the rim. So we playing teams like that, bro. So, but what it did, man, the coaching staff believed in me. Shout out KJ. Shout out Keese, man. Keon believed in me. My guys believed in me, bro. I was the starting point guard. I go from not playing at Meadowbrook to, yo, what's up, man? Like, you lead our team.
It took you back to Charles.
It took me back, man. Bro, and I didn't know how to handle it at that age, but it took me back, and it was very.
That confidence was there.
My confidence. Remember, I told you it was gone almost, and now it's back. I'm starting to inch back.
Bro, think about that though, bro. Everything that we wanted at that time was what took our confidence away, and all the things that really we didn't focus on that happened was like the blessing in disguise. Like it's so because it was so important for us to make that Meadowbrook team and be a part of that.
It was crazy, bro. And I always said to myself, if I ever get a chance to coach kids, I always wanted to give them the utmost confidence because it's hard when you don't have no confidence and then you feel like your coach don't have confidence in you because now you playing against literally 7 or 8 people because you're playing against the 5 on the court and your coaching staff. So it's horrible position to be in. But anyways, so at the time, the principal, her name was Miss Dowdy. Miss Dowdy had promised me a full scholarship if I came back. And that was a cool thing. It was a tough decision for me to make because it was like, yo, although I'm getting better in school, I'm getting better on the court, my mind is, I miss my friends, like my public school friends. Like, I'm missing out on the action. Like, I'm coming home from a school with 33 people, and I'm still in the same neighborhood, so I'm hearing all the stories at Meadowbrook. And shout out Chantal, man. I don't know if Chantal is watching, but Chantal used to take me to that McDonald's on Hopkins and drop me off, and then she'll go to Meadowbrook, and then Vari and his mom would come pick me up. So it was literally a lot of people helped me on that move to go to Evangel. But so yeah, man, I'm coming back to the neighborhood. I'm hearing all the stories in high school. Damn, I missed that. Somebody fought. Yeah. Damn, she date. Oh, that like. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, like, ain't nothing going on in my school for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we hooping, we enjoying our time. Like, we made it fun, but wasn't nothing going on. The principal ended up getting fired. We got a new principal coming in now, right? And he said he came in and said, I'm not giving out no full scholarships, right? And I was like, what the hell? My mom's pissed. And everybody who know my mom, like, y'all are very lucky. Like, I have a good mixture of my mom and my dad in me. Like, my dad is like the sleeping giant. Like, if you mess with him, he's still gonna go off on you, right? But he's very, very low key. He holds a lot of stuff in. I get a lot of stuff from him. If I was like 90% my mom, a lot of y'all would have seen these hands by now for sure. Like,
she is turned up.
Y'all would have got cussed out, everything, the whole bit. So my mom, being my mom, she's pissed, cussing whoever she talking to, she's cussing them out because she's working, bro, 3 jobs. Not sleeping for her son to go to private school to get a better chance of making it, bro. Like, she can't be there all the time, but she's like, whatever I need to do to help you, to put you in the hands of somebody else, I'm going to do it. And it was very, very taxing on her. So she's just like, bro, I can't do it. I can't do it again. I can't do another year of this. And I understood. And I remember, being in the kitchen one day, we were deciding what I was going to do for school. And Coach Price had called her one time. And I was in the kitchen, and he said, I just enrolled RJ in the Benedictine. You want me to try to get Harry in the Benedictine? And Benedictine was a military school. So in my head, I don't want to wear no suits. I don't want to go to JRTC being ignorant. I don't want to do this. And she was like, boo, you want to go? And she was on the phone. She's like, RJ going to Benedictine? You want to go to Benedictine? I'm like trying to be quiet. I don't want Coach Price to hear me. I know he's going to be disappointed in me. Yeah. She's like, oh, no, we're gonna go ahead and weigh our options. And if I went to Benedictine, bro, my whole career would be different for sure. Like, they breed winners. They breed success, man. So
Benedictine at that time is like
Oak Hill is a powerhouse.
Oak Hills, the IMGs, those type of schools. Benedictine was that, in general, but just even being in Richmond, the guys that came through there, shout out my bro Darian, shout out Ed Davis. Yep. And Darian was a guy that we actually, we felt, even though we didn't know him, we looked up to him so much because we felt like that was you if you would have went there. You know what I'm saying? And so it's crazy, like you say, man, like you didn't even realize that opportunity that was there, and that could have just changed everything. And because you were thinking about all of the things that necessarily didn't matter. You missed that opportunity, man. And I know you take responsibility for that. Absolutely. But at the same time, it's just like when you look at everything you've already talked about up until this point, man, it's just like that guidance had to be there for that, and you had your mom supporting you, had other people supporting you, but when it came to basketball, there wasn't anybody there that could tell you what that would have meant for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that would have changed. And we doing what we supposed to be doing in our life, but like in that moment, I'm sure, like looking back, it's like, man, that's one of them ones that got away that could have changed everything for me.
Yep. So we end up declining the Benedictine, and we enrolled. She said, you know what? I mean, we're still in the same neighborhood. My home school is Meadowbrook. Put you back at MBK. And the day she enrolled me back into Meadowbrook, the principal called. And he said, oh, Mrs. West, I'm sorry. I didn't see that Miss Dowdy promised Harry if he came back, he'd get a full ride. My mom was she was done by then. She already cussed out who she needed to cuss out. We good. Hung up the phone. Boom. So now I'm back at Meadowbrook my senior year. Confidence level is high again. I have a good, decent, I think I had a really good bounce back public school career when it came to 12th grade, but I still wasn't who I fully thought I could be. And I remember going into 12th grade year, we had team camp at Lynchburg College. And Lynchburg at the time was struggling. Shout out Coach Scott, though, a good friend of mine to this day still. And he offered, basically wanted all of us to come, our whole starting 5, me, King, Jaquan, Drew. I don't think Kobe was there, but I think Josh was there. He wanted all of us to come. So it wasn't like I didn't feel like, oh, okay, we want you, but it was just like, all right, we'll take all y'all. So I was like, all right, whatever, I'm going to play out the year. So holiday hoops come. We at Henrico holiday hoops over the holidays, and me and Jaquan get co-MVP. He get MVP. I get offensive player, or like all tournament team and all that stuff. And I remember after the game, we celebrating and whatnot, and a little short guy, you know him very well, came up with an Eastern Mennonite shirt on. Shout out Coach Huff.
Shout out Huff, man.
And he said, hello, I'm Coach Huff. I'm assistant coach at Eastern Mennonite, and we really like your game. We really think you could fit into the program. And at that time, bro, I'm like, what? Like college? Like I'm thinking college now. Like, yo, what? Like college basketball? Okay, cool. Like I'm still basically a rookie, like reps wise. And I'm like, wow, college basketball. Okay, cool. Fast forward to the middle of the season, bro, and I see this dude in the stands at Meadowbrook now. So I'm like, oh shoot. And I remember vividly against Matoka, bro, I had a horrible game at home, and we ended up winning. And after the game, I remember him meeting me in that hallway, the same hallway I saw my name on the list. He told me to keep my head up, and they were still very interested, and they wanted to get me on campus. What? So I go out to EMU, bro, and take me around campus. And again, like back then, bro, that was huge. Like, what? You on a college campus, and you know how EMU was. Probably won't nothing going on, but I felt like everything was going on.
Yeah. And the type of setup that college is in terms of like you got dorms, you can walk other places. Like we never experienced that.
Yep. So he had showed us, him and Coach Dean. Shout out Coach Dean.
Yeah.
They showed us a video, and George and them had just went to the Elite Eight, so it was fire video. Presentation was phenomenal. And afterwards, it was just me and this other guy who was like a wing, and it had in writing like, "You guys are the future." And me and him both looked at each other like, "Yo, I'm coming."
Yeah.
And throughout the visit, he told me, "But my grades is fucked up." That's what he kept telling me. So he already knew, like, I like it, but I probably ain't gonna be able to get in. I wasn't thinking that. I'm like, cool. My grades are good. Bounce back year from Evangel. When I came back to Meadowbrook, I knew how to focus, so my grades was better. I ain't have no, you ain't do a damn things, or you done fucked up on my report card my 12th grade year. So I was good. So it averaged out to be a decent student, and my SAT scores were very low. I didn't take my SATs till late, so I really didn't have another chance to even get them joints up.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get into EMU. My SAT scores were too low. So I remember being there, sitting after the season. We had lost to Thomas Dale at the Siegel Center, and that was a big shell shock for me because, you know, the lights were very bright, you know, at Sieg. That was our first time playing that in that type of environment. But it was a wake-up call. So it was like, yo, you trying to play college basketball, bro? You got, what's up? This is it. Like, the lights is this bright. And I remember sitting at the kitchen table, my house in Meadow Oaks, bro, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. My mom was working at the post office, so I'm thinking about, all right, after school, maybe I'll just work. And my phone rang, and it was a coach. I had no idea. I had no idea what the school was. I never even heard of the school, but it was Patrick Henry Community College, and it was Coach Wade, and RIP Coach Wade. But he called me and was like, Harry, yes, sir. I'm like, what's your plans next year? I was like, I really don't have none. I want you to come up here tomorrow, take this placement test. Martinsville, like 3.5 hours, bro. I'm like, I never took that long of a drive before.
Yeah.
I was with it. Stopped at Wawa, gassed up, got some little energy drinks. I was like, I'm going.
Yeah.
Went up, took the placement test, found out that, a lot of guys that I had a little ties to was going to the same school. Shout out Malcolm. Malcolm King was on that Thomas Dale team that beat us. Andrew White was on that team too. He killed us, by the way. White, but then my roommate was Derek. Derek Cates, man. He went to Monacan, so I was similar to our area. I knew who he was. He knew who I was. And then Deshaun Manuel came up there. Deshaun, man, from Fallen Creek, bro, was the first dude I saw that literally can do any dribble move you want him to do, he could do it. And
straight from New York.
Straight from New York, bro. Him and Carcine, bro.
Yeah, Carcine.
They had that AI crossover down packed, and you couldn't do nothing with it. But Deshaun, so now I feel comfortable. Cool. And now I'm hooping with some guys that I know. They know my game, so I'm not scared. I end up meeting, shout out Black, shout out Morris. Me, Black, and Morris, bro. And we can, bro. If you get them 3 dudes on here, we got stories, bro. We would go to Greensboro every Thursday through Saturday, bro. Like
it was clockwork.
Oh my God, bro. Because it was nothing to do with Martinsville.
Yeah.
Played with a guy named EJ, Ed Jenkins, man. He was one of the best players I ever played with. Shout out EJ, but he was on that team. So now we got some guys, bro. We got Lil Echoes. We got a shooter. We had a squad. So I'm like, okay, I could see where I'm really at. This is a good test. Like, this ain't no JUCO where it's like, okay, well.
And you had to do, what was the dude name? You might have already said him, from TC Williams.
EJ.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Ed Jenkins.
I ended up playing. I played in a Randolph-Macon camp on his team. And we talk about confidence. Like, he give you confidence on that court.
Oh
when
my
you
God.
play with him. He see the best in you, and he say, "Be here, do this. I got you."
Man, what this dude was phenomenal, bro. I remember 1 week we had like 4 games in 7 days. He had 30 all games. He was killing.
Easy 30.
Easy 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm in the starting lineup, but it was more like you in the starting lineup because I'm punishing somebody else. And so I would start, Malcolm would come in for me, and Malcolm would just play the rest of the game. So I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I was playing like a 4-guard lineup, but I was considered the 4th guard. So it felt weird. Like, I'm playing a post. Like, what?
Where were you at mentally there? I mean, just with all the other, I guess, walls. When we talk about hitting the wall, because you know you could play. You always knew you could play.
Yeah, I think that time, bro, I was on that down again. I lost confidence. I would, open gyms and stuff. I would be solid. I would be good. But then when that coach was on the sideline, bro, it just felt like they didn't see what I knew I could bring.
It just brought back the anxiety.
Yeah, big time. So I didn't really play that well, but I played well enough. So it was one game we played, and it was a away game. And after the game, a guy comes up with a red shirt on, and it was Coach Sully. Coach Sully was the assistant coach at Lynchburg at the time. And they were high on me in high school, and I kind of forgot about him because I wanted to go to EMU, but Sully came, Harry, watching, seeing what I'm like, oh man, like somebody's still interested. So that season concludes, bro. We end up having an okay year. I think we underachieved because of the talent we had, but after the season, bro, we playing open gym, and I'm in my bag, bro. Like, I'm in my bag, and I'm taking it out on my teammates. I'm mad. The fuck? I'm going crazy, but in my head, I'm mad at, I feel like the coaches didn't believe in me. And I was just mad because I was like, yo, who's gonna believe in me, dog? Look at what I could do.
Yeah.
And I remember walking into Coach Wade's office, and I was like, no, skip the part. I called Drew. Yo, Drew's at Lynchburg at the time. Yo, bro, like, thinking about coming to Lynchburg. Hey, come on, dog. So I came to Lynchburg, went to a party. I'm like, yo, this is what college is like. Looking back at it now, it was a weak house party, but it was dope at the time. I'm like, yo, this is cool. And I was like, yo, you know what? I'll come here. F it. Walk in Coach Wade's office. Coach Wade, I'm not coming back. He leaned back and was like, me. Like, he thinking like, yo, who you got? Like, where you going? Like, I'm the coach. I know what coach is looking at you. Probably ain't nothing.
Yeah.
But he didn't know I was already tapped in. So I was like, I'm going to Lynchburg. And he was like, are you even going to play there? I remember those words. And that lit a fire like the Trey fire. Yeah. And I told you I was on a down confidence-wise, but I fell back to that moment when Trey said, am I going to be the manager? So, boom, my same grind came. I said, bet. Transfer to Lynchburg. Now I'm a sophomore. Come into the season, not expected to do a lot. And I have a, great first half of the season, bro. Like, I'm in Richmond Times-Dispatch. That felt good, being a kid from Richmond and not going to VCU but still being in the paper. I was like, yo, this is legit, man. Bro. That's huge. Yep. So I have a hell of a first half, and then EMU game comes. It's ironic that it's against EMU, but I go for the ball, and I super hyper extend my knee at the time. I just think it's a hyperextension knee, and my adrenaline's going. I keep playing. Go to the trainers the next couple of days. They're like, you can't do nothing, just ice it, rest it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking nothing of it. As time goes on, bro, like, I can't stand up in the shower. Like, I'm literally like dragging my leg across rooms, right? And I'm like, yo, this ain't right. Like, this lingering way too long. So that happens. I play through it. The the couple weeks before we leave to go home, coach calls me over and was like, you want to play next year? And I'm like, what you mean? Like, yeah. All right, I got some guys coming in, just be ready. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, I just had a good year. I'm like, all right, I'm not really worried about who coming in. I grind the hardest, bro, that summer. Like, grind the hardest, bro. Remember, like, working at Walmart, if everybody from Richmond, the one on Mid-Low.
That was my first
right?
job.
The one on Mid-Low. No, the one on Hall. No, the one on Mid-Low. Up all the way
Across
up.
from the Sam's Club.
Yep, across from the Sam's Club. They just built that.
Wegmans over there.
They just built that American Family. So I'm leaving Walmart and going to the gym every night. And my Walmart shift 3 to 11. So I'm leaving, going to the gym, lifting.
Which is perfect time to go.
Perfect timing, bro. So I'm lifting. I just still don't know how to work out, though.
Yeah, I was say, what was you working on?
Bro, I was lifting, doing the same joints every day.
Yeah.
And then I go in the gym and shoot. But then again, when you by yourself, bro, it's like, how much are you really going to get?
Those are those workouts you talk yourself out of because you like, I'm just wasting time.
I just lifted. Yeah, let me just go.
Yeah.
So I go back to school. I put on probably like 20 pounds of muscle. Like, I'm actually too big. Like, I remember KJ told me I look like a running back. And he was right, though. I had traps. Like, I had like, I was just kind of too big. So it affected everything that I knew, muscle memory.
Basketball shape and like being in the gym, like it's a fine line between those two.
Yep. So I lost all my muscle mass. And, muscle memory and all that stuff. So I really wasn't shooting the ball well. But I thought I was still good enough to play. And I don't play my junior year. I'm not in the rotation. The same teams I just remember killing, I'm not on the rotation, but I'm in a scouting report because they remember me from last year. And I think it clicked on me when one of my friends from another school was like, bro, like, what's up, bro? Like, we spent 15 minutes on scout on you, and you didn't even get in the game. Like, what's going on? And I was like, I just don't know, bro. And I was in a very dark space, and I think back then, not knowing it, but that was the first time, like, I literally was face-to-face with the devil, bro. Like, it was dark. It was dark, man. And I won't mention his name, but we had an assistant coach, man, and he just took the love out of the game for you. Like, so many people, players that I knew just hated basketball, man. They just quit. We had so many people that came and left, lost the love of the game, man. And I was seeing my brother, bro. I knew since 6th grade, 5th grade, I saw him losing his love for the game. And we were roommates, so it was like it was hard to see that, bro. And I saw where it was coming from, the source. And it was a very dark time. I remember walking around the campus at like midnight, bro, and I was just like, yo, what am I doing here? Like, what am I doing? Because I just remember all the work that I put in, and it's not being counted for. I keep going through these ups and downs with the game of basketball. I'm like, what am I doing? Call my mom in tears. Mom ready to come home, put me on with the post office. Like, she's like, nah, you're not gonna quit. So you're not going to quit. And I was like, Mom, I'm done. It's like, you're not going to quit. And those words still sit with me to this day because anytime I feel like giving up, I hear my mom saying you're not going to quit that day. Because, bro, I was ready to – when I say quit, I was ready to – I could have ended it all for real, to be honest. Like, that's how dark of a time it was, and people don't understand that. And that's the message I kind of want to give for this part of the story is everybody sometimes – 9 times out of 10, you're going to go to a dark place in your life. Not everybody makes it out. Yeah. Keep climbing. Keep pushing for that light because once you get there, you understand that you can make it out of anything. Right?
You got to become self-aware.
You got to become self-aware, and you got to understand that everything not going to be sunshine and rainbows. So I said, you know what? You're right, Mom. I'm going to do this. So now my knee is still bothering me. My knee bothers me the whole year. That summer, I look into my injury a little bit more. Come to find out, I got patellar tendonitis. They say you really can't treat that. You got to rest it. You got to just ice it, heat it, do all that stuff. I said, man, there's no way that's all you can do. Looked into it a little bit more. Danny Granger had it in both knees. He ended up retiring, so I knew how serious it was. And Kobe had it. Ironic that Kobe had it. Excuse me. So I said, how does Kobe get through it? So Kobe used to go to Spain every couple of years and get a shot from the best doctor. There was an injection you can get in your knee that can help it. So I looked up Richmond doctors, and I found one that was used to putting it in the shoulder, not the knee. I said, I'm going to go talk to him. And he told me these exact words. He said, son, I cannot promise you anything. I really don't know if this is going to work at all. And it was like three bands, bro. Like, it's not a cheap procedure. Yeah. I will do it for you, but I do not know what this, he was trying to take all, like, yo, if this joint don't work, don't come looking at me. Yeah. And, so I say, let's do it. And we do that, and it works, bro. I'm out like 4 to 6 weeks, but I end up taking more time off. And I go back to Lynchburg, and they have their pre-workouts. I'm sitting out for a second, and I remember my time to come back, bro, and I felt like I had a whole new knee. Like, I'm in drills. I'm feeling good. They're like, oh, shit, okay. Harry back, blah, blah, blah. And that was a cool feeling for me. Season comes. My teams are winning the drills, all the first in all the competitions. I'm doing my thing, and I'm in the starting rotation. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm about to show the world. Like, I feel like my back was against the wall. I'm about to show the world, not just my coaches that I can play. I'm about to show the world who I am. And we were in practice, and last drill, my team had already won. We already solidified, and I'm still trying to get a bucket. Looking back, I should have just passed it, ran in the corner. But I go up, and one of my teammates, shout out Daniel Rowe, I love him, but he was under the basket, man, and I fell, and I sprained my ankle, the worst sprained ankle ever in my life, bro. And I remember just sliding back to the wall, like, this is going to be my story, bro. Like, I could never get it. Ended up getting a boot, crutches, man, I was out for a long time. So by the time I came back, we had some solid freshmen, bro. Like, these dudes showed, like, yo, we can play. Shout out my boy Lyndon and Zach. They were our backcourt. And it was too late by then. So I was there. I was coming back to be their mentor, basically. And I was okay with it.
They had that flow already.
They had that flow. And I was okay with it because at the time, I was like, let me change my attitude about life in general, but and on the court. Because my junior year, we could win. I'd be pissed off because I knew I was in a bad space. But anyways, they were good, man. And we came back, and we ended up losing the first round of the conference tournament to EMU. It's ironic, bro. My career should have started with EMU, but it definitely finished with EMU.
Yeah.
And after that, bro, it was a big shell shock for me because I said, now what's next for real? Like, what is next? Like, bro, what is next? We had middle school. We knew high school was next. We knew college was next.
And all of it included basketball.
We wanted to be pros, but if you don't do what you're supposed to do in those levels, pro is not even in the question.
Yeah.
So I ended up going home, and season was over. My college career was over. And I always had a soft spot for kids because I was the youngest, so I always wanted somebody to say they looked up to me. So I was a mentor for a kid with autism. Shout out Hunter, man. I know Hunter probably not watching it, but that was my guy. So I ended up doing that. And one day we was in class, and 4th of July came, and it was time to mentally take a break from the real world. Like, you look forward to those holidays when you're in the real world, for sure.
Yeah.
So 4th of July was a weekend. So I think we had like either a long extended weekend or whatever the case may be. And I was asking the teacher at the time, because I was just the counselor. I was like, yo, I'm trying to do something. She's like, what you trying to do? I said, I'm trying to go somewhere. She's like, okay, why don't you ask some of your friends? I said, you right. Ask some of my boys. Let's go to Orlando. Everybody flaked. And I was like, damn, I still want to do something. And she's looking up. She's really trying to help me. Hey, like, there's things that you can find other people that's traveling by themselves, and you can do that. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, but whatever. She's like, do you know anybody that's out of state? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, she even had the kids do like, hey, we're going to help. So they call me Mr. H. We're going to help Mr. H find a vacation spot. So these kids, they just, oh, yeah. They go on the computer. They doing some unrealistic stuff. London. You should go here, Mr. H. I'm like, yo, I ain't got the bread for that.
Yeah.
But so when she asked me, do I know anybody that's out of state? I just like, I got family, but they got kids and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I do got somebody. It's like Sheldon. And Sheldon is Coach Miller's son, my brother. And we hadn't talked in like years, bro, because he had went to Thomasdale. I had went to Meadowbrook. So we grew up together, but then we went to different high schools. Communication got lost. I hit him up, bro, and it was like it was yesterday. We was in the sandbox almost. Like, conversation was very fluid. He's like, yeah, bro, I would love for you to come down here. Go down to Tampa. He's in Tampa, bro. I go into Tampa, bro. Bro, I'm telling you, if you need, especially back in the day, it's a little different now. He got kids. He's doing his thing. Daddy Miller is different now, right?
Yeah.
For good reasons. Shout out Bree, too. That's his wife. But best tour guy ever, bro. He had everything lined up. He picked me up from the airport. It was smooth. He had shades on. The windows was down. I see palm trees. I encourage everybody to get out this city because you don't know who you are until you leave your city, bro.
That's
like, I thought literally the world was Richmond. Bro,
hey, run that back, bro. For everybody that didn't hear what he just said, I need you tell these people what you just said, because this is very, very important,
bro. I encourage everyone, man, to. The world is such a beautiful place. It's a wicked place as well.
Yeah.
But it's such a beautiful place that while we are here, because we don't know how much time we have on this earth, man, you got to get out your city, bro, because your city is not the world. And people get caught up in that. And I'm this and I'm that because I'm from Richmond and I do this. And it's like, bro, get out. Yeah. Like, get out, bro. Like, see some things. And when he pulled up to the airport, bro, I felt like I was dreaming. You know what I'm saying? And that whole trip, bro, was amazing, immaculate, bro. And I said, damn, man, I went back to Richmond, and now I'm back in the classroom, like Monday morning, like scratching my head, like, yo, Hunter, man, I don't know, Mr. H might be out. That's what I'm thinking, but I ain't saying it.
Yeah.
And a month later, bro, this was 2015, so July 4th, 2015, I went down to Tampa, and by August 15th, I was moving down there, bro. I called him up and said, bro, how would you feel if I came down there? It was him and Logan. Shout out Logan. Yeah. And the first thing, if y'all know Shell, he's like, oh, man, cool. He hype. He's like, let me ask wifey first. Let me ask wifey. Yeah. Shout out to Miss Miller, my sister, Bree, and she said yes, bro. So they were all on board. So I literally have $1,000 to my name. I drive down there. I say, yo, you know what? I'm going to apply for jobs. I had a month like in between. So the school was over and, you know, working in the school system, you got that summer.
Yep.
I worked summer school, but then there was a month in between. So I said, I'm going to stay down here for 2 weeks, apply for all these jobs. If I get a job, I'm going to stay. If not, I'm going to go home because I got the school. Mm-hmm. If I get a job in the first 2 weeks, that gives me 2 weeks notice. I'm not an asshole for just leaving on the school. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to all these dumb interviews, bro, like modeling interviews, things I know I just need a job. Yeah. I just need something. And it's so funny because I'm okay with sharing this now. I don't care. Logan put me on to like, yo, bro, you need to get on these apps because you need to meet people. Like, you can't just be down here and not know nobody. Yeah. So I ended up meeting somebody, Facebook friend, and we just chopping it up, bro. Not even knowing no, like, I'm trying to, like, what's up? It's just like, yo, you just need to network, bro. You need to network. And once he did that for me, I can recall my first grade. My first time at LC. Shout out Rue, man. Jimmy Rue, my mentor, bro. Like, the only reason I got through Lynchburg College was because of him. I tell him that every time. He's the only reason why I graduated, bro. The first words he ever uttered out his mouth was, if y'all don't get anything in the next 4 years, because I'm in this class, but freshmen are in the class as well. Mm-hmm. If y'all don't get anything in the next four years, if y'all don't hear anything, if y'all don't retain anything, just remember networking is the most important tool you can ever have. So it ended up coming back, and that being Logan for me, like, you need to network. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, Facebook friend says, hey, I'm about to go to work. We hiring. What you do? Work at this call center, do this, $12.50 an hour. What? You know, back then, bro, $12.50. I'm making 10 at the crib. Yeah. And I'm at the crib. Yeah. $12.50 in Tampa. Yeah. What? I said, yes, sir. Sign me up. So he said, all right. Shot me the app, bro. Next thing you know, I'm in the manager's office, bro. Like a day later, it was that quick. And it was so funny, bro, because, again, me and the Facebook friend, we don't know each other, bro. We just literally had two words, connect. Yeah. And he said, okay, well, we're going to be in touch. Let me walk you by so-and-so's desk. I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't know this person. Like, we had to act like we knew each other, though. So that was cool. Yeah. Hey, what's up? And she's like, all right, I'm gonna let you walk him down. And he's like, all right. And we walking off like, this is weird. Like, yeah. And she ended up becoming very pivotal to me here right now. And this is why. So she got like a bonus, right? Like $500 bonus for referring me. So it was always an incentive. And she locked me down my first job in Tampa. So I'm working this call center job, and I hate it, right? Hate the job, cool. I'm there though, right? Then it dawned on me, I say, listen, why am I sitting here going to a job that I hate? I hated it, bro.
Yeah.
I needed it, of course, but now it's like, yo, are you gonna be comfortable? And it's
Those
crazy.
One of those jobs is easy to get comfortable.
Crazy that we talk about call center because George referenced that about T-Mobile, and like it's always like, all right, if you want to do that, go do it. But you're not. That's not really what you want to do.
Yeah.
So there's a timetable for everything. So that happens, and I end up saying, you know what, I'm out, man. I'm out. I had no job lined up, and I was like, I'm an Uber. And Shell like, you sure? Like he looking like, oh no, you sure, bro? I'm like, let's do it. I'm about to Uber. F this. And my brother is very supportive, but in the back of his mind, he like, we like keep this job for you find something else. I'm like, no, I can't even think.
Yeah.
So I just Uber, bro. End up Ubering one day, get a call from a manager. I applied to so many jobs, I forgot how many jobs I applied for. End up working at Chase Bank. It was Chase Bank, and I went into the interview and I was honest. And they asked me, what do you see? How do you see yourself in your career? And I was like, I'm telling you, I want to play professional basketball. I told him that in the interview. I'm trying to get the job. I'm letting you know, hey, if professional basketball team call me, I'm out. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But I was just so real and so comfortable in my own skin. I told him.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting the job because of that. So the manager used to play arena football. And he had a big, I want to go to NFL. And he said, man, when you said that, man, I saw me and you.
Dang.
That's why. And he was like, yo, what? Like, and that's why I encourage everybody to just be yourself, man. You never know. People
so much power in being you, man.
People going to be like, no. But the right people going to say yes. So I ended up doing that, bro. Ended up staying at Chase Bank for 4 years. Ended up going from a teller to a banker, meeting some great people, man. Shout out Derek. Derek was a big mentor for me. Jazz kept me sane. Adam. Like, we had a small knit group, man. Chris. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? My first bank. And I ended up becoming a banker, bro. So I ended up becoming a banker. Now I'm sitting down with people. I'm talking to people. And for those of y'all who really don't understand the importance of talking to strangers, is you got to treat everybody the same, bro. Like, I didn't just talk to people with money. I talked to people with no money. I wanted to say, hey, how did you get here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you get here?
It's about perspective.
Yep. To be successful. How did you get here to be not so successful? And I learned so much and power in that. So I do that, man, and I'm comfortable, whatever. And I remember to this day vividly where my mindset switched, and it was switched because JR's grandma had passed away, and she was like a grandma to me. Like, I even lived with JR. A lot of people don't know this. I lived with JR for a little bit, and having those conversations with his grandma was important to me. It wasn't like we never spoke. Like, we would have good conversations. Sometimes they'd leave the room. I stand there with grandma for a second. We'll chop it up a little bit. So she had passed away, bro, and the funeral was on Friday. And I had asked my boss at the time, could I go to the funeral? And they were very hesitant on it. And so we'll get back to you. A day later comes, I get a call from my previous manager, and they're like, hey, was it your grandma? And I was like, no, but she was like my grandma. Like what does that even mean? Okay, I don't know if we're gonna let you go for this. They're gonna need you on Friday. So in my head, I knew that when I showed up that Friday, the bank was gonna be dead. I knew it was, because that's how the universe works. Like, they wasn't gonna need me. They said they wasn't gonna need me. And I get there, and I remember being mad and pissed off the whole day, and the bank was dead, bro. Like, nobody really came in. That day, I went home, and I said I would never allow anyone to rank what's important in my life ever again. Like, ever, bro. Like, people don't understand, man. You got a short time on this earth. You got to really sit with yourself and rank what's important to you.
Yeah.
Family is always going to be more important than my job. Back in the day, we were brainwashed to think our job was supposed to be number one, and it's not.
Yep.
It's not. So that day changed my mind shift, man. And I said I would never allow anyone to do that to me ever again. So after that, bro, I said, you know what? There's now a time for me to change. And everything I learned in this last 4 years was like me taking a college course. Let me use that for that. This vehicle is going. Now I got financial backing now.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want to do. And I said, okay, end up doing that. And End up taking another job, right? And then I get a call from Stat, the other Stat, Alex, and he's like, bro, shout out Alex, man. He go, bro, you still trying to move to Charlotte? Because I had been talking about Charlotte the last half of my Tampa life, and I was in Tampa for 5 years. Wanted to get closer to home a little bit. My grandma had passed away, and I had to drive 12 hours. I remember doing that, and I remember telling myself, hey, my parents are getting older, my dad's getting older, my mom. I want to be able to just be closer just a little bit. I love Tampa. Probably going to end up going back eventually, but I just needed to be closer at the time I was in my life. And he said, bro, I may have an opportunity for you. I'm coaching this school called Combine. I'm like, okay, cool. That I don't hear from them for a while. Like, he'll check up on me like, bro, you heard? No, I ain't hear from them. You heard? No, I ain't hear from them. I end up catching COVID, all right, because now we're in 2020. I end up catching COVID. After I end up with my COVID scare or whatever, the dude calls me, bro. He's like, yo, like, what's up? This is so-and-so, Combine, want you up. And we had a little phone interview, and he's like, cool. When can you get here? This is Thursday. And I was like, and I was kind of, he's like, can you be here by Monday? Yes. Didn't even think about it. Yes. Bro, I got everything that I own in Florida. Everything, bro. Yeah. A lease still going. So this happened in November. The lease ain't until February.
So what was going through your mind that, like,
bro, the change,
you do that?
The change that I needed was right here in my face, right? I think the value and the message in that is, you can't wait till the perfect opportunity. Because you're never going to be ready. We weren't ready for this, bro. Like, we had to jump into it. And at the time, I was living with my brother Josh, shout out J Rouse. And I told him, and he was super excited for me, bro. And it was one of those things where it was affecting his life too. Like,
yeah, because you were leaving.
I was leaving, right? So we do that, man, and I get a U-Haul, and I one-way that Joan, and I'm here, right? And I'm coaching. Season was, successful, whatever. Ups and downs because of COVID for sure. And they promised me all this stuff and all this next year talk, and then the summer come, I really don't hear nothing from them, and then school about to start, I really don't hear nothing from them, and never hear anything from them, and I end up talking to them again because shout out Jeff, and I could just refer to Jeff as Jeff because y'all know who Jeff is. So you think about Combine, you know who Jeff is.
Shout out Jeff.
And Jeff, man, again, shout out Jeff. We're gonna have Jeff sitting right here too, man. That dude, man, he one of the realest dudes, man. One of the realest dudes I ever met, bro. Sir. He showed me the utmost respect day one, and he really didn't even have to. But I end up, trying to get on with them. End up not working out, and I just remember like feeling that sense of like, damn, again, I'm back at square one. What's next, bro? Yeah. And that's what really got us to this right here, because now I go, you know what? I have an ability. I really believe that I walk with a different spirit, bro, because of the things I've been through in my life and conversations I've had with people that in my family have passed away and everything like that, bro. It's just, there's so much left to do, bro. And I could easily just been like, damn, I just moved all my stuff up here. I'm not at Combine no more. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I walked in here and I was like, boom, sparked the idea. Yeah. And I think that's how you got to keep living your life, is when you get to that wall, or if you slip, you have to hurry up and get up, or you have to hurry up and figure out how I'm going to tackle this wall. Yeah. And that's what I've learned throughout my whole life is obstacles have come. Last year was a tough year for me because I had lost 2 aunts in a matter of 2 months, a month and a half almost. One on my birthday.
Around your birthday.
Yeah, one on my
Christmas
birthday.
And all that.
Yep, all that. At the same time, my mom was sick, a little COVID scared. But my mom, bro, she was like, I never had COVID. I was sick though, but I ain't have COVID. Yeah. She got so many great home. Like she can nurse herself, bro. Put it like that. She ain't going to do all that. I'm gonna see if I got it. Nah, I ain't got it. I'm fixing it. Yeah. So yeah, man. And all that happened, bro, and I was in a dark space, and relationship wise, I had lost somebody that they didn't die, but somebody that I had been with for a very long time. And the year started off very rocky, bro. And again, that's one of those things that you just got to keep moving, bro. And luckily, man, great people are in my life now, man, surrounded me, and people came and took me out that dark space, bro. For real,
I think
dog.
too, bro. Just when we reflect on everything that you're talking about, man, like I think as people, it's hard to understand growth means something else has to go, right? And we fight it so much when we're younger.
Yeah.
You talk about Benedictine. You talk about the urge of wanting to just be with your friends and like not wanting to let go of certain things that could have helped you grow, and it blinded you by that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you fast forward to where you're talking about now and where we're at today, for a lot of people, this might seem like, man, how did that come about? But we understand exactly why it came about. And I think we're both at a place where we are accepting that, just like we talk about running to the wall, we're accepting whatever has to go at this point is meant to go, because I know that means I'm going to grow more. And regardless of not having the guidance growing up or anything, we have gotten to that point where we've seen this same things happen so much and so much and so much that we've said, you know what? I'm not going to keep ignoring it. I want to be the best version of who I'm supposed to be, because I know it's not just about me. And that's the key. When you realize that life is not about you, you have a personal responsibility to be the best version of who you are, because somebody else's life depends on it, because they have to reach somebody that only can relate to their story. But they need you to get them to that point. Everything becomes different. And so when there's things that you want to hold on to, whether it be a relationship, even in the unfortunate case where your family passed away in the time that it happened, you really understand that as much as it still hurts, it's like it's part of me becoming who I need to be, man. And it's just, it's awesome to kind of put those things in perspective, hearing it all right now,
Yeah, and it changed me, bro.
Yeah.
Not even gonna lie to you. Going through that time last year in the beginning of the year changed me, man. And I think the most important thing that I got from it was you don't know who really with you till you in the dark, bro. You don't know who really with you till you in the dark. And again, man, I said I'm name dropping, bro. Like I feel like on Drink Champs, and I'm gonna give her flowers down, bro. Like Lauren really helped me, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the dark room and she came and tapped me on my shoulder, bro. Like,
Shout out to Lauren.
you know what I'm saying? So I don't take that stuff lightly, man. I remember all the people who were there when I was in that dark space, bro. And I remember the people who kind of shied away too.
Yeah.
And I think that's the message too that I get with when I talk to these players and stuff, and I'm really telling them, like, because my mind shift has shifted so much now that I got so much purpose. When I get there, I reevaluate everything else. But people like that, man, people who was with me when I was in the dark, bro, they lifers, bro. No matter where I go, no matter what they do, like we're not promised to even stay so super locked, but it don't matter how far we get apart from each other, man. I'm always gonna look out for those people, dog. Because I remember just being in that dark space, and bro, and then again, I was here by myself. So those conversations I had with myself weren't the prettiest. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It was rough. You know what I'm saying? It was very rough, and that's how real life is, And I just tell people out there, for real, to sum it up, man, because I'm no different than a lot of people, bro. Like I say I walk with a different spirit, and I know I do, but it's a lot of good people out here that do the same. And when you go through those times, man, just keep fighting, keep going. Again, remember those people that's sitting there with you. And the people that come to your aid when you're in the dark, bro, they're not sitting in the dark with you, bro. They getting you out of there. You know what I'm saying? And
They in the light and they pulling you there with them.
And some people that you thought that would come by, and so put a little picture on it real quick, again, to wrap it up. You got people that's walking by, right? A classroom. A classroom got the little door and it's pitch black, and they see you sitting in there. And you got some people that's gonna open the door and say, "You good?" And the light, bro. When you in a dark classroom in the hallway and you open the door, how much light you see?
That's all you see.
That's all you see is light, bro. And there's some people that's go, hey, and they're walking and come get you. The people I thought that would do that for me just walk past, right? They just kind of walk past
and look through the window.
And I never would think that would happen. So anywhere you're in your life now, again, going back to having these relationships when you were in high school, when you were in college, when you're a boy, when you're a child, those things can change, man. And don't let it change you to the point where you lose yourself completely. But you keep people at a safe distance, man. You guard yourself and you guard your goals, because that's what you really guarding is your goals. Like I said, once you reach those, you reevaluate. And I didn't really realize that until I tell you this, the truth, bro. I didn't become a man until I turned 25. Mm-hmm. And that's because my grandma passed away, and all the things I had to do to help my dad, to help me, to ask questions, to have uncomfortable conversations, that molded me into who I am and to me becoming a man. You're not a man until you really, really can really say, I've been through some stuff. I'm going through some stuff. I'm ready to work it out. Like, bro, come on, man. Like in Florida, bro, I'm working 5 jobs, bro. I'm doing things. I'm making it work, bro. That's when you become a man, bro. It's not about just because you become a certain age. It's a level to it, man. And
for sure.
I just think really just tapping into who you are and really who you're trying to be, bro, because at the end of the day, bro, we only got one life. This joint could be over in the next 5 minutes, bro. But
so I mean, last question, bro, that I would like to know, man. You know, just to bring this to a close, we're here right now. You know, we're doing this podcast that we jumped into. Mm-hmm. We just had a dream and a vision. That vision is becoming very clear at this point. Now that we're here, sitting down, we're here. I mean, we remember walking in here, nothing was in here, and we was it was a lot to even get in here with nothing in here. Mm-hmm. And we're here now with things in here. So what's your purpose at this point? What does it look like? What does the next 5 years look like for you, and why are you here doing what you're doing?
Summing up short and sweet, bro, I think my goal just in life now, bro, is I don't a lot of stuff I thought that I cared about and I wanted back in the day, I really kind of ventured off from those things. My biggest goal, bro, to be honest, bro, I just want to touch as many people as I can while I'm here, bro, in a positive way, dog. Like anybody that I interact with from here on out, bro, is something that even if, again, to the smallest conversations, interactions, bro, I want people to walk away and be like, yo, that dude was a good dude, man. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I care about. And if I can do that to hundreds and thousands and hopefully millions of people, bro, with this platform, with us trying to, get the gym for the kids and everything, and the guys I coach, the guys I train, like, I just want people to look back and be like, yo, when they tell their origin stories, man, because everybody got one. I'm in it.
That's
you know what
that's
I mean?
fire, bro. And
I'm in
it. That touches me, bro, because like, we're gonna get into my story at some point, but when you talk about your purpose, and it was times where I didn't know what my purpose was, and I talk about it all the time. STAT stands for strive to achieve together. Every single thing that I've done since I've started that, I've wanted to emulate that. The first couple years, it wasn't showing that, and I had to change things and say, no, this is what it's about. This is what I care about. And so to see us here right now, bro, and like to hear you say that, it's like it's no mistake that we are both here doing this thing. And the fact that you made that call to me and said you saw the opportunity in this space and we're here right now and we're doing it just shows that when you say you're going to do something, the world's going to put you in a position to see if you really want to do that. And if you approach it with that mindset that you're going to grow and you're going to let whatever happens happen, and what's for you is for you, you're going to get to that point. And, for me, it's very fulfilling that strive to achieve together is a way of life for me. And it's now become a way of life for both of us. And everything that you just said is exactly what strive to achieve together means, because there's going to be somebody that's listening to this right now that's going to relate to some of it, if not all of it. And it's going to help them move forward in life. And that's what it is, because there's a lot of pain in that. There's a lot of struggle in that story. But you've made it out, and you've made it out to the point where you can come here and talk about it and not have anything holding you back from being honest about it. And like you said earlier, being who you genuinely are is something that we're not taught. it's something that allows us to not become self-aware at a young age because we think we got to be what everybody wants us to be. And so strive to achieve together, Stat TV, From the 7 podcast, the platform, everything that we do and we talk about. It's not just a podcast. It's not just video. It's not just training kids. It's not just any of that. It's everything we're talking about right now. And it's taking that and putting it into the work that we do. Just like when we watch the Kobe's of the world or we listen to the music and the Drakes and those guys, they're putting that same energy into that. And you understand that that's the greatness. It's turning all of that stuff that you went through into art and using that vehicle to get that message out. So that's huge, man. And I'm proud of you, bro, and I'm happy to be here with you to do this, man. And like I said, the vision is becoming clearer and clearer every day. And you know, we appreciate everybody who's tuning into this right now because we understand it's bigger than us, you know. And we don't say that with a cockiness. We understand somebody's going to hear this and they're going to take something from this because we had to hear it and we had to go through it and see somebody else's journey and story to take something from them. And that's what it's about, you know. Strive to achieve together. So, you know, respect, bro. I appreciate you sharing your story, man. Absolutely, I know it's not the easiest thing to talk about in certain situations, but it's for a bigger reason, man. And that's dope.
And the last thing I want to say, man, before we close, there's a lot of people that I forgot to mention, bro. Like, it's so many people that's shaped who I am to this day. So everybody that's watching, man, if you're watching and you didn't hear me say your name, just know I'm thinking about you. Like, it's so many people, bro. We were talking for 5-6 hours if I went on the list that people that really impacted me. So I just want to just encourage everybody, man, to be you, be unapologetic about it, go through life and know that you're going to get punched, know that you're going to get knocked down, but the faster you can get up, the next chapter is right there. Like, don't stay in the mud. You know what I'm saying? Don't stay in the mud. Get out of it. And just remember those who helped you through all those dark times, because after that, it's nothing that I can't get through. It's nothing.
Absolutely, man. So, yeah, we appreciate everybody tuning in once again to From the 7 podcast. Listen, if you got something from this episode, which if you didn't, you probably had it on mute. Let's just keep it 1,000. Like the video on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. We want to get this out to as many people as possible, man. One of the things that's very important to us here is that we just going to keep it real. You know, we're not going to get caught up in all the other stuff. We're going to do it at the highest level, and we're going to keep it real because we understand it's bigger than us. So like the video, tap in with us, man. We appreciate everybody for, you know, showing us love and rocking with us. It's so much more to come. Again, Deuce, thank you for sharing your story.
Yes, sir.
And look out for the next one next week, man. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, From the 7 podcast, we got Deuce and Stat. We out of here.
We'll see y'all next week.
Stat that.
Working on a weekend like usual. Way off in the deep end like usual. Niggas swear they passed us, they doing too much. Haven't done my taxes.